Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. After we posted the video from yesterday talking about how the AT&T T-Mobile merger was getting shot down, and the article that corresponded with it, there seems to be renewed hope that the iPhone will eventually make it to T-Mobile sooner rather than later. And someone on Google Plus, they posted in the comment thread there, they said, hey, how could I get the iPhone on T-Mobile? I said, oh, that's easy. All you need to do is switch to AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint. There are a couple of other networks, at least here in the States, that carry the iPhone. I mean, there are certainly some technical hurdles to overcome to get the current iteration of the iPhone 4S, working on T-Mobile's network. It is possible, but it's definitely not optimal. And there is, however, this idea that it can and will happen very soon. So we've covered it. There is renewed hope. So if you are on T-Mobile, and I don't even know how many people out there who are subscribed to this channel or watching this video are on T-Mobile. And if you are, go ahead and leave a comment in the live video feed, and I may bring it up if you have concerns with being on T-Mobile or if you love T-Mobile and why. Of course, you're free to comment at any point during the video. People have asked if I would switch to T-Mobile if they got the iPhone. And I live in Seattle. When I pass the T-Mobile building, it always seems that my phone connection drops. And I always thought it was a conspiracy, like it's because I'm on AT&T's network that the phone connection drops outside of T-Mobile. But it seems that it's a dead zone for everything. Satellite radio, when I had that, I no longer have that. And the T-Mobile has a horrible time with connectivity around there. So I don't know. It's a great place to put a headquarters right there in a dead zone for data. I would not switch to T-Mobile for a few reasons. One, I'm happy enough with AT&T. They're not cheap. They're not as expensive as Verizon. They're not perfect, but over time, they've saved me money. They've called me up and said, hey, thank you for being a subscriber. Did you realize that you could actually save money by switching plans to X? I'm like, oh, cool. That's kind of nice. And I appreciated that. That goes a long way, that type of outreach. T-Mobile's had a nice array of phones for a while, but I just don't find myself switching to T-Mobile. And again, I'm talking about T-Mobile here in the States. I'm not talking about Deutsche Telekom, that exists outside the U.S. AT&T has served me well enough with the iPhone. I had switched from Verizon using an old Microsoft Pocket PC back in the day. I switched from Verizon because I thought they were expensive back then to AT&T because AT&T had better phones. This is before the iPhone, mind you, before the iPhone. I was still using Windows Mobile by and large, although I don't know if they were calling it Windows Mobile back in the day, at least at that point. Microsoft changes what they call their mobile strategy every other year. You can depend on it. So if you see a phone that's on another network, are you inclined to switch to? I did. I don't know what I would have done if I was still on Verizon and the iPhone was released and I wanted the iPhone. I may have stuck with Verizon because of all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I'm happy with the AT&T iPhone because, well, I do like, talking and also doing email or browsing at the same time. That is very useful, and you can't do that on Verizon's network. It's not as bad as people say it is in every way. And honestly, it's kind of like the least of all evils in my estimation. So I would not, thank you for asking the question, I would not personally switch to T-Mobile. I think this would be a boon if the rumors are true that T-Mobile is going to get an iPhone. Kind of stands to reason. They're really the last ones, and I don't know if this AT&T T-Mobile merger is going to go through, just like we talked about yesterday. So let's see here. Just going to look at a couple of the comments here before we wrap it up. Been on AT&T back when it was Singular. Now, the funny thing is it was AT&T, then Singular, then back to AT&T. That's a long time. AT&T has no coverage where I live. I wish US Cellular would get an iPhone, says Indema Troy. Galaxy S2 looks nice. Indeed, it does. Chris, what are your thoughts about the iPhone 4S being on Sprint, says My Funky Design. T-Mobile feels like the odd man out. If I was on T-Mobile, if I don't know if I'd stick with them at that after the point that if you wanted an iPhone, T-Mobile is a good carrier. It is. I mean, it's as good as they come. But if you want an iPhone and an iPhone experience, and this is really what this video is about. I'm not talking about Android at this point. You can hang your hat on the hope that we're talking about that it will get the iPhone, or you could switch to another carrier, pay the price, only to switch back to T-Mobile at some point if you love T-Mobile that much. But you also want an iPhone. It's not the cheapest possibility, but really it's the only way to satisfy you if you want a good iPhone experience and you like T-Mobile. You may have to leave only to come back when they get the iPhone. Not that I'm saying that people need to leave T-Mobile. I'm not. Everybody's got to make a different decision for themselves. I like T-Mobile, like I said. I would like to use more of their devices, but they never send them to me. I don't know why. Gee, could it be that? Could it be some of the advice that I'm dispensing? I don't know.